All right, hey there, YouTube. So I don't do tutorials like this. I don't know. It's not usually my kind of thing, but people have been asking for it. So one of the things that I know a lot of people do is when they're setting up a stream with a GoXLR or Elgato Wavelink or any of those items where you can have your what you hear and then a broadcast mix, right? In the GoXLR app, you can check these sub mixes and say, "Oh, I want this out, you know, to B," and mix. You can adjust your volumes for the individual ones here. I don't do that. One of the things that I do is my routing right now. All I've got is everything's going to my ears. Is the only thing I have going to my broadcast mix for the most part now is my mic. I do keep the broadcast mix and the chat mic separate because there's stuff that I want maybe to get broadcast through the stream mix, like the samples or sound effects, stuff like that. And I may not want them to go to my mic, to Discord and everything, so the rest of my stream can hear. Or not my stream, my friends in Discord can hear. Or so anyways, what I do in OBS is over on my audio mixer here, I will add, so there are some scenes like my starting soon. I don't, some people will go through in their settings here and under audio, they'll set global audio devices. I don't set anything in global audio devices because there's not a single thing in here that I want on every single scene. So I have that all disabled. Okay. My monitoring device is set to my system output. I do not route my system audio to the stream at all. I don't need an echo. I don't need reverb. I don't need anything like that happening. So I will have my individual audio sources here. Like ADEM is, I have ADEM set up. So my, some of my alerts play through here, some jump scares type stuff, channel point redeems. That audio will get routed through into here because I have it set to play to a specific device and I capture that audio device there. But all my browser sources are in here. When I go back to chatting, you see the mic gets added in. So I'll add the mic source as an individual source. Spotify is in here as an individual source. If I go to my game, the Elgato capture card is in here, and game chat's in here, Discord's in here. The one thing that I do, I'll go into advanced audio properties, and obviously some of my browser sources I have set up in here. And I want to monitor those, like, because ADEM goes to a port that's not actually using any audio to my headphones. I have it set to monitor so I can hear them. Blurp, I have it monitoring so I can hear the blurps, not just stream. Same with stream elements, Twitch alerts, stream stickers. Those are all set to monitor. I have my VOD track is track 2 for audio. So everything goes to track 2 except for Spotify. That way, any alerts go through. I don't have anything that on my alerts that would trigger DMCA. Blurp does have an option now to where you can have separate browser sources for Blurp. One for everything else and one for stuff that may trigger DMCA, so you can isolate that browser source and have that be off the VOD track. So that's something to think about too if you use Blurp. But everything routes to track 1. That's my output for stream. The track 3, I use that for my mic. My mic is the only thing on that channel. Track 4 has Discord and it has game chat. So anything chat related, say you're creating content and you want, you're editing something, but someone in the Discord chat or someone in game chat was being super loud and you couldn't hear anything you were saying, or just kind of conflicted with what you're trying to do. You can isolate that. So when you go to edit the video in Premiere or DaVinci, as long as you have multi-track recording set for your audio, it'll add all of those tracks into your video when you're editing. Track 5 is my game. That's just game audio. If I was to use display capture for something, it would do the display capture would show up under there as well. But this is just my capture card. Track 6. I wish they had more tracks, but currently OBS's limit is 6. But all of my alerts go to track 6. That way, say, I'm in a game, I'm editing a video, and I don't want the alert in the final edit. Or if I do, I can isolate it. I can isolate different things when I'm editing video with that. So having multi-track audio built into OBS, if you're not using replay buffer or local recordings, I use replay buffer. I also, as you can see, use Atom Vertical. So all of my stuff is already set up for different vertical content. So if I go to chatting, I've got the chatting screen, it's got a vertical on there. If I go into the game, my face cam's there, the game content will show up behind there. The health bar you see here, this is for Fortnite, for example, that's on here. I've got a mask set up for there. If I change the game to Warzone, I've got a different health bar for that. Atom will go through, they'll see the trigger. As you can see there, it just changed my location of my face cam. It changed the health bar over here on the vertical, and Eli's being a pain. But I also have that set for backtrack. So I've got 2 minutes on backtrack for the vertical, and I've got 2 minutes on the replay buffer. The one thing I do is in my settings here for your output for recording, I'm using the virtual camera, so it's grayed out at the moment. But what you can do in here, you want to make sure for multi-track recording, you have all the boxes checked for the tracks that you want to use for your local recording. So I have everything but track 2 checked, because why should I waste a track that is basically track 1 minus Spotify, and I have Spotify isolated from track 6 anyways. So track 1, that's just gonna be your basic recording. I could, in theory, if I wanted to, completely eliminate track 1 as well and just have 3, 4, 5, and 6 for my local recordings. That way it's strictly just the isolated audio. But that way, having 1 in there also helps, just in case you accidentally forget to go into the advanced audio properties and assign something to a track. Say you forgot to put it onto track 6, or you forgot to put it onto track 5. It could still be on track 1, so you could still get that audio. So that helps with that. If you go into Premiere, I'll just drag this over here. I'll drag one of my vertical recordings over. We'll just grab this one here. If I drag this in, you'll see we have multiple different tracks here having audio. So we've got the main gameplay. We got my mic. All that's in here with the audio. So then I can isolate, I can mute certain tracks, like I mute track 1 automatically. I can mute the track 6 here, or this track. I can isolate those so I can only hear the audio I want. I can unlink this and I completely delete a track or shorten a track so you only hear a snip of that audio. So yeah, that gives you an idea just how useful multi-track audio can be. Again, this is my first kind of tutorial video on it. I know there's a lot of polishing to do. I know there's a lot of things I can do better. I just wanted to get this a quick and dirty one out there just because I had so many people asking about it. Your main thing is going to be adding your individual sources to OBS. Most of the time, like with the Go XLR, the Wavelink, all of your devices, you'll have multiple different devices in here that for each item. So the only thing that doesn't show up from a Go XLR, just as a heads up, as an input source or an output source are your line in and line out on the Go XLR. Those devices don't show up. On the Wavelink, all your virtual devices can be selected individually in OBS, and then you can get that multi-track selection. I was looking at switching from the Go XLR to the Wavelink, and one of the things that wouldn't impact me is if I did that, I wouldn't be using the Wavelink stream mix in OBS. I would still be putting in each individual source in here because I want that multi-track recording. It's not for everyone, but you know, it does help you, because I know a lot of people will sit there and they'll mute alerts. They'll do this because they want to edit the content for YouTube and they don't want that alert being in the YouTube video or something like that. With this, you could then do your local recording. You can still have your alerts play, but because you have them on a separate track, when you go to edit your YouTube video, you can isolate those alerts out. It just kind of helps you not have to juggle things around so much, and you can edit it in post. So that's just a thought, quick and dirty. Anyways, yeah, leave a comment, subscribe. Hopefully it helps you. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help. So yeah, anyways, thanks for sticking around.